There you go.
Look at me, I'm huge. Giant. I didn't even know where the camera was. I was looking away. Hey, Carrie, how are you? You ran the Play for Time show last week with special guest host Dan Gorgon. How did that go?
I did. It was fun. Yep. We always talk a little bit about editing when Dan is on because, you can't not. So it was interesting.
Right.
And we gave away the secret that I actually didn't have any audio in the Sturbridge Village segment, that he had to add it manually. And he did a phenomenal job, like down to the hammer strikes at the blacksmiths. So I was pretty impressed.
You just really nailed it. So I'm just back from a trip. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover a little bit what it's like when things don't quite go the way we want. But welcome to Play for Time. So, yeah, we had I was away. I traveled last week. I just got back this morning. I flew red eye to get here. So if I look like a bag of spiders and everything else is all messed up, that's why. Tell me a little bit about you. How'd your week go?
My week was my week. I didn't get a lot of adventuring in. Work was crazy busy. And I know how you feel about busy, but what I mean by busy is I had a lot of things that I had to do in a short amount of time. So that's what I mean by busy. But anyhow, I didn't get to adventure as much as I'd like to. I hope to remedy that this weekend.
Well, nifty-tastic, horrific, I do. I was in Las Vegas, mostly spending time with my parents because I was checking in on them and making sure they're doing well and seeing how my mom's doing. And but I did sneak out. I did get a few shots in. We're not going to cover those in this particular episode unless we kind of run out of time.
Dang it! I really want to see them. They look
Well,
good.
I mean,
They look good.
maybe I can get them up and running. I use, it's so funny because this is a question I get all the time from a lot of people in photography settings is what is your photo sharing technology of choice? And I've more or less recently switched to Google Photos for no reason other than it's just fast, easy, facile, nothing to it. So I could show you a couple snaps from around the lost part of Vegas.
I use Google Photos because I, like most people, needed some space on my phone. Like I had thousands of photos on my phone. But what I discovered is I could find things stupid fast on my phone. I knew exactly where they were. And when I put them in Google, it's like, where does Google think they should be? Like I can't find them as fast anymore, which is annoying.
Yeah.
The reason I kept them is because I want them.
So this is, and I have a gazillion, so I'm just going to blaze through, but this is just some man. I was riding the tram behind him and I was like, that's one stylish gentleman. He had, look at that hat. He's got little feathers in it and everything. And for all I know, he called it macaroni.
I feel like he should be yodeling.
He could well be yodeling. Look at that great picture.
Aww.
That's a good one.
Did it make you want to grow your beard out?
Very much so. Very much so. So I just went around their neighborhood and shot some stuff in the desert. Everything in Vegas requires lots of water. So
that's beautiful.
I thought those came out really nice. This is a cool car across the way. It's like a Datsun 380Z or whatever. And I just thought it was so cool looking.
Love it.
And then I walked out onto the Vegas Strip. You can tell because there are people's butts in the far background on the Vegas Strip. Nice 63-year-old lady dancing and telling people the age is just a number. Stitch, Minnie Mouse, nice man smashing some things. One of those guys that leans and acts frozen for a very long time.
Oh, a living statue.
Thank you. I couldn't remember that. Flamingo. There were so many birthday and bride parties going on in Vegas. There always are on the Strip. So there's always a lot of those little banners like someone won something.
Dan says last time he was in Vegas, he ran into Batman. Nice dude.
Oh, that's good to know. It's good to know. But this is what I go for. I go for the tubas. Um, this
Wait,
is one of those.
that was a actual tuba?
That's a real tuba.
Wow. Okay.
I'll have a picture of him playing it later if I get that far. This is one of those slushy drink bars, of which there are many in Las Vegas, where you see those people walking around with something that kind of looks like a bomb.
There were some challenges you were saying to getting the kind of photos that you like to get, though. Hi,
A
Leslie.
little bit, because one of the things about people wandering around in Vegas is that it's all such a spectacle. They're all there just to have their fun and all that, and it's not the kind of photo I want. Like, I kind of want somebody that stands out from a crowd, but in this case, there's just mountains of people. The crowds are just massive, so it was a little bit of work. Like, this guy here, he was fun because he was talking about people were applauding. He goes, "You're nice now, but the more you drink, the better you think I am. So keep going." He kept.
Nice.
And by the way, this is one of my favorites of the whole trip. It was Elvis talking to some churro dealers, because Elvis in his later days.
Churro dealers. Like they're going to open
Yeah,
their coat and go, "Hey, man, you want a churro?"
purveyors of churros. That's what I'm thinking. Chippendale, helping this nice woman feel excited that there are Chippendales in the world. The other woman looking completely offended.
I don't know if she looks offended. She just doesn't want to make eye contact.
A lot of butts.
Wow.
These people stand around on the strip and hope for, I would assume, mostly fellas who want to get a picture taken with those people. There's my tuba player playing the tuba.
Hey, that looks heavy.
At that moment, he was just warming up, and he started with the Jaws theme. Thank you, because I was going to say, which, if you think about it, is just two notes. Dun-dun. So I'm on an overpass looking down. I took a couple different versions of the shot because, one, I like the way that you look through the omega. Two, I made a blurry one by doing a lower shutter speed.
Right,
And
not at all by accident, like definitely on purpose.
No, on purpose. That's why I slowed the shutter down to 1.4 seconds and made it that way. And then this one was just kind of like a little more of the purple colors into it.
Pretty.
This is sad Spider-Man.
Why is he sad? Because no one wants a photo.
No one wants a photo, and he is just too shy to get in there and get the photos.
Aww.
This is Paris, which is out on the strip, and this is a man. Notice he's on one of those one wheel, like
that seems like a terrible idea. I feel like you're not supposed to do that.
It's a bad choice. I like his Ned Flanders LED behind him, though.
Same. Spider-Man, no one cares. Ouch. Instead of No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah. This nice man was busking. I walked by a country western bar. Country western is a huge thing. I had no idea there were very many cowboyish people and country music blaring, which I've had enough of. I'm good. We can go back.
It is kind of everywhere now. Like, we live in the north in Massachusetts, like even northern Massachusetts, and it's just kind of everywhere, even here.
Yes. These people were doing this really frenetic, interesting street art of really boring stuff. They were taking like football logos and then putting crap around them.
So you're going out, like you're making outings to just go and take photos of people. And this is exactly what you like to do, is take photos of people. But I think what you're reacting to is that everybody sort of looks like they're meant to stand out from a crowd, but in a crowd full of people that stand out, it's just another crowd.
Right. And like, for instance, this is the Fremont Street experience. This is downtown Las Vegas. And that whole arch above those two people that you see in the foreground, first off, there's zip lines going through there. So you can zip over the crowd, every single person with their phone out.
That's not dangerous.
Nah. And then two, it like protects you from the rain and the desert sun. But it's just for like drinking and frolicking. And to me, this is one of the pictures that kind of shows what you really get at Fremont Street. You get a couple of tourists, you get a couple of people who are kind of having a rough time in their life, and you have so many variations of cops, security, and even further law enforcement. And so that kind of sums up the experience. Plus, there were all these photographers, like real, I'll put, because they're the ones that like ask for money for their photos.
Oh, sure. Leslie did the zip line, by the way, on Facebook.
Oh, she did. Sorry, by the way, I'm not seeing our StreamYard view. I'm only looking at the Google Photos view because that's how I can control it. So I apologize if I'm missing the quotes.
Well, wow. Okay. What's happening?
Well, so there's a DJ, and he's coaxing people to dance, and they're dancing like no one's watching or filming.
Hold on.
So
Cat's making a point that I was thinking. Drunk people flying over, lying on their belly. What could go wrong? I mean, everything. I mean, depending on your perspective, if you're a perv with a camera aiming upwards, like what could possibly go right for you?
right, but also people vomiting down on you
That
from
too.
above. Yep. So these three were dancing like no one was watching or had camera equipment.
Okay.
A mom and a daughter. She might be
Oh,
doing
that's
the
nice.
sprinkler. They're kind of fun.
Flip-flops, that's an interesting choice if you're going to do a lot of walking. Now, in my experience,
Yeah,
Vegas is like one of those towns that you think stuff's close together. It is not. You need some sensible shoes.
that is true. By the way, look at the guy in the left-hand corner. He just doesn't care. Just
No.
like, I'm just enjoying my beer. I'm glad my friends are dancing. I'm glad they're happy.
I mean, I feel like that man is all of us.
Yes. And here's, people trying
Trying
to
to read it.
stem off the tide, protect us from.
Look at I'm everybody right now, like tilting my head to read this side.
Oh, Jesus said, hear these words of mine and then do them. So he basically said, this sign that this man printed and walks around with says, Jesus said, listen up.
You know, Jemima, who's a traffic manager on our team, says similar things.
Be advised.
Dan says, I remember dancing in public being appreciated in Montreal. He's talking about his dancing, of
His
course,
dance,
when
I
we did
very
the
much remember.
Montreal Christmas market.
For sure.
Now we
By
need
the
a
way,
clip.
somebody spilled a little slushy drink, and this guy cleaned it up within like 30 seconds of it hitting the ground.
That's like Disney.
Yeah, he came out so fast.
Disney level
These guys
efficiency.
really like their hats.
You didn't get a hat. You should have come back with like a fedora.
No,
Or something.
So
Yes,
there's the
you
Jesus
should
guys again.
too.
God raised Jesus from the dead and brought an end to the agony of death. Okay. And then Pikachu.
You know what? I feel like I would take that guy more seriously if he wasn't wearing two crosses like Flava Flav. Like what is happening right there?
Maybe he's hoping to graduate that other boy from the little cross to a bigger cross.
See, Kat agrees you need a fedora.
A Santa fedora.
That's correct.
I just
you look like Santa and you put on a fedora. That's what makes it.
I like that the pocket monsters are there just having fun.
So you had to do a little something to make all this happen, though. You have a lot going on. You have like a pretty full sort of agenda, and you have to make an effort to get from the suburbs to the strip or to old Vegas kind of to take these. Was it worth it?
Who's to say?
You, of course.
There's the energy of, well, getting out of the house, getting a little break. You have to sort of spell yourself a little when you're taking time out there. I think that in the whole sense of play for time, like the whole reason we invented play for time was how do you keep engaging in life as you age? And one of the things that's true is that there are very few photos waiting for me at home. So even when I'm at my parents' house, I took like far too many pictures of my mom and my dad, and I'm sure they were like, "What are you guys doing? Like, why are you taking 1,500 pictures of me?" So getting out was the only way I was going to get some. But I think also in that process, I think the kind of benefit of it was just that I could see parts of the world that I wouldn't see. I could sort of engage with people, maybe have fun conversations. I could kind of enjoy whatever else I might experience along the way. So I think there's lots of opportunities to. I think when we live this way, when we kind of operate in this way, where we can see more things happen. I guess it's an opportunity that I think we should take, because otherwise, then we're just at home and we're like, I don't know, watching the next thing up on YouTube.
No, you're totally right. However it turns out. I remember, so you were out there trying to get these photos and you're like, it's kind of not the smorgasbord I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be like street photography heaven, but it's actually, you have to work a little bit to find people who stand out in a crowd of exhibitionists. So
I think
that was interesting.
I think so. And also just because, there's all these emotions that you feel when you're in Las Vegas, no matter what. You go there and you're kind of like, if you're at a conference or something, which I was not, you're like, you're jazzed for the conference. If you are there and you are with people, or if you're like down on the strip and you're like gonna gamble and all that, like it's exciting for a very finite amount of time. And then I think what happens is you kind of like go, oh, I've had my Vegas for now. I'm going to go away. But I was making a couple of comments on this on LinkedIn, and a couple of people who live there said, you know what, though, like it can be that it can be super great. Like I hung out with my friend Steve, who's a Vegas resident, him and his wife Susan. We had a great time. We went to Siegel's Bagel Mania, which is over by the convention center. Steve and I had a great meal, great conversation. Like you don't have to do Vegas. Like you can do lots of parts of it without ever having gone to the strip. So there's
Hey,
definitely a
Kat
lot of ways to do it.
suggests a scavenger hunt, like a scavenger hunt mindset that helps her sometimes. Like today, I want to see red pants. Go find them.
Yes. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Do a little challenge for yourself. In Vegas, like honestly, I'd just be happy to see pants because a bunch of those photos were like
There's a lot of pantsless
questionable at
people.
best. So you had another photo shoot that didn't exactly go the way you were hoping.
Boy, did I. Yeah, and it's funny because like I think by the nature of doing so many projects like this with you and going and doing these adventures, on April 19th we went down. We were going to try to get the whole Lexington and Concord, and for very many reasons we're not going to reiterate, it didn't go super well, and you covered that on the show last time. This time I was like, hey, let's catch sunrise at Nubble Lighthouse up in York, Maine. And we went up stupid early in the morning, and I have some amazing photos of the lighthouse at sunrise in the fall. And so I learned
It was so
something on this
cold.
trip.
Was that fall or was it winter? Because dang, I just
It was
remember
fall that other time, but this time it was pretty cold too.
so cold.
One small apology, a couple times like we're facing right into gusty wind. It's like wind that's going to blow somebody over. And Carrie would have, or Dan would have probably run this through some kind of audio thing, but my name's Chris Brogan.
So we're up to Nubble Light, which is up the street kind of sort of in York, Maine. And one of the things that people do here is they come here to see the sunrise, but also to photograph the sunrise. And what gets funny is everyone brings sort of a different level of equipment. You'll see a whole bunch of people with their tripods. You'll see us just kind of taking a whack at it. And in between, there's just a bunch of people who just want to enjoy the sunrise. And then there's just a bunch of dogs out here to sniff the puddles. And it's just a variety of people coming to see a lighthouse that's going to be here every day. And why do we do it? What makes us want to come here to see a lighthouse and a sunrise? I mean, for me, it's just going to be a really good photo. And for these other guys with tripods, who knows? Maybe they're making calendars. But at least it's a ritual where people are getting up to see the sunrise. But it's also very windy, so let's hope this audio is any good at all. So you can shoot with anything. You can use your phone if you want and get a shot. But the gear matters in some ways. Like if you have a higher quality lens, of course, you'll bring in more of what you're actually seeing. Landscape people want to do wider and wider and wider. And like they want maybe a 10 millimeter to 16 millimeter, which is a very wide shot. They can see everything. I'm doing 28 to 75. I actually had brought also a 70 to 200, which is even closer up. But then I realized when I aimed it at Nubble Light, I basically could see like the bacon on the kitchen table. So I get why they want to go wide now, but it's also like, it's interesting. This particular hobby of photography, you essentially spend all your time thinking, I need something that I don't have, which is obviously a consumer, capitalism dream. But you can make do with what you have, and you can get some really good shots. And hopefully when we watch this video together, you'll be like, oh, that's a pretty good shot.
You go to Poland Head like the first of June.
Yeah.
You can get like a foreground, like right here, of roses.
Oh,
Sea roses.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right there, and then shoot that way.
No,
You can get it here too.
Yeah.
You shoot that way. It's tough though because of the poles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't quite get the shot I was looking for, and I thought, man, I'm crazy. I swear I got a really good shot of this once. The same sort of setup, like sunrise and everything. I thought, well, maybe I came at sunset. My memory's not that great. But I just talked to two real pros, and they were like, nope, it's not you. It's just the way the sun went today. And you learn that the sun moves a lot. Like, there's apps to track it. I have an app to track it, but I just was going on memory because I knew what I was going to get. I knew that there was kind of a false start, and then there was the real start. And I didn't get what I wanted, but I got a couple goodies. We'll show you those.
Here we are.
So you were hoping to get the sun coming up over the lighthouse, and the sun did not cooperate.
The sun, yeah. So left to right, it goes, hey, here's some rocks. Then it goes, here's the lighthouse. Then it does this perfect shot right behind the lighthouse that like anyone would want. And then right after that, it goes in this notch in the rocks on the other side. All and every of those shots are amazing. I got none of those shots. Those two guys got none of those shots. We got none of those shots. So I took a couple good shots, but
Kat liked them. Kat said beautiful shots.
Thank you.
Dan Gorgon said, shh. That's the win. You have to, okay, so for one thing, I actually do have a thing on the mic to address wind, and it works for normal wind, but this is an obscene amount of wind. So check it out. So this is what it looks like. Have a thing on it that usually cuts way down on wind noise. But yeah, I would have processed that audio a little bit. Easy lima bean. Also, your parents checked in, your dad and your biological father and his wife, I guess. So what you call them?
I think that's what they usually call them. Hello, Mom and Dad.
Dan says, thought that was a great segment for those of us who don't want to get up super early. You get to see what it's like to be there and the difficulty of getting the perfect shot.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, look, it was a fun time. We laugh anytime we go anywhere. It's always fun. It was shooting instead of staying home. It was going out and doing an adventure, and it was before like anyone even had to start to do work.
I did. That's what this is, like a windsock. This thing.
There's a big furry sock on it, but
yeah, it did. I promise, it was so windy, you could have gotten knocked over.
It was nearly a hurricane.
It was kind of ridiculous. And even the pros were all bundled up and like really questioning their life choices, I feel like.
Yeah.
Kat says it, in quotes.
Put a sock on it.
Oh, gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. That's what she said. Something. Yeah. So yeah.
I wasn't thinking that looking at those photographers. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But like
bunch of old ducks with their cameras.
Every pot has a lid, Kat. You do you. Those guys are your type.
Oh my gosh. So anyhow, the point of this for the segment anyway was just to say it doesn't always go the way you want, but maybe it's not so bad anyway. Which
it's
I've
still
done.
Fun.
We've done a couple segments like that at this point. So who knows?
Leslie says beautiful, definitely a beautiful location. Honestly, I have a great time just going to these places, and even if we don't capture what we're hoping to capture, I have fun. I don't know, and plan for next time a little bit too. I've even discovered some areas where Verizon has no signal, so I'd like to pass that along There's a couple spots in Maine that that Verizon's just apparently decided aren't important. So anyway, you learn something every time.
And strangely, Mint Mobile does great.
It is interesting,
Thanks, Ryan Reynolds. Well,
priorities.
yeah. So, it was fun to watch. It was fun to do because of doing it. It was fun to show a couple of Vegas photos as well. But I think it's time, don't you? Is
Time to
it like,
play our fancy
is
ending.
it over fried? I'm just going to do the Dan one again. Well, they're all Dan ones. I was going to do the funny Dan one.
It's
again.
May. Like we have a